Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to No Clip Sports with myself, Josh, and Mark.
Right here.
So today we're talking about some more foosball stuff, more specifically timing and clock management and advertisements. During the Super Bowl, you should have seen my boy here. He was about to have a heart attack.
And an aneurysm.
And
the same exact time.
The same exact time. Pretty much proving his ultimate and very quick death. So basically, during the Super Bowl, Mark here, and I, obviously, but Mark, a seasoned football watcher. This man has watched some football. You forget more about your job than Mark has watched football in his young life. So, Mark was confused about the time and clock management, especially at the end of the second half and the fourth quarter, but even the third quarter when he thought they should be stopping or running, and it was just a whole hullabaloo. So that's basically what we're going to talk about today.
So for that context, I was going crazy.
Insane.
And
back crop bananas, as I like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And specifically in the third quarter, when all hope was lost, they started to turn it around. But the running time kept going. There was a couple plays where they were running forwards out of bounds, which supposedly the clock is supposed to stop on that, but then it never did, and it was questionable either way. Does it stop? Does it depend on a run play or a pass play? So there's a lot of business going on here, but what I mainly want to talk about is the running time. Now, what I found out about, and you were saying before this that you were a little confused on how it goes. So I did, once again, I stuck my nose into that rule book and tried to figure it out. Basically, what I came up with, and I'll once again attach that in the link down below, Rule 4, Game Timing, page 15 of the NFL Rulebook, okay? Essentially what it says about running time is that in the last 2 minutes of the last 2 minutes of the second quarter are running time, and then the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I don't think that's true for starters, but that's what it says. And the reason I say I don't think it's true is because I saw a whole different ball game, or at least it appeared that way in the Super Bowl, because in the third quarter there's running time all the time. It was absolute insanity. And I think, now I get what it's tied to a little bit, making the game a little bit shorter, so that it's more reasonable for the fans and stuff like that. But here's the deal.
You gotta be consistent, people.
If you're gonna run time the whole game.
Yeah.
Don't pick and choose because, once again, talking about strategy, stuff like that, if you're gonna run time, just run it the whole game.
Be like soccer.
Do it like a youth football game. They just run time the whole game.
Yeah, or like soccer. It just doesn't stop. If you want to be quick, just do it like that.
Yeah, I get if you're gonna say like a drop pass and like stuff like that, or like if it's a running play, obviously. But if it's a completed pass, any of that, those make sense. But getting specific about if the person's going forwards or backwards or whatever on the sideline, I get it to some extent because you want to make sure that the competition is still heavy and still going, but you gotta be consistent. You gotta keep it real. I think personally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So here's the thing: would you want it to run the whole time, or would you want it to stop?
I'd probably like it to run the whole time, because I feel like then there's no confusion about anything.
Okay.
It's a fairer game for everybody. There's not going to be mass hysteria when the clock manager misses something and then the referees don't catch it. It's like, and maybe they could do it like soccer. Maybe instead of like an overtime thing, they could do like an extra time thing or something like that. But I feel like just definitely just keeping the clock running the whole game. It'll make the game move quicker. It'll make the players play quicker, which I think the sport desperately needs because, there's 10 minutes of action in a football game, and you're watching it for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So that's just from my standpoint. I love football, but it can be painstakingly slow sometimes. So I feel like
with the running time, would you still stop it on pass plays if the ball hits the ground?
Yes, that's the only time I would stop the ball. I would only stop the ball on incompleted plays. I wouldn't stop it when you went out of bounds. I wouldn't stop it any of that. I would just stop the clock on incompleted plays, and that is it. There would be no confusion ever.
Timeouts, injuries, stuff like that.
Timeouts,
but in terms of the actual play itself, ball drops.
Ball drops onto the turf. Stop the clock.
How about a turnover?
Turnover, keep it running.
So the second that the ball is spotted
Clock
for a
start.
turnover, clock starts.
Yes.
Offense needs to get 40 seconds.
Yes.
Boom. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I think there should be stoppage.
Okay.
I do. Now, having said that, it's going to sound very similar to what you just said because I still believe that the clock needs to run on run plays. I still believe the clock needs to run on completed passes. But in terms of the sections of running time and stuff like that, I think that's crap. I think it changes the entire game because when you think about it too, if you keep the running time and you say that incomplete passes are going to be able to stop the clock, it's kind of like the spike the ball strategy.
Yeah.
You know, teams might purposefully throw incomplete passes stuff, and that happens already anyways.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that happens
a
now.
lot of this stuff already happens because the strategy is out there and it makes sense and it works, so they do it. But I think if you have the stoppage of plays, you get more strategy. I think you could technically get better quality football because you have more football if you're stopping. If you have running time, like yeah, you might get closer to an actual 60-minute game. That would never happen, but I think you get more downs, you get more quality football, and you get more strategy going back and forth. I don't know. That's just me. But anyways, on to the next part of it. Advertisements. Okay, just tell the people how do you feel about the current state of affairs with advertisements in the NFL?
Aggravates me. Aggravates it. Football is probably the worst sport, I think, for when it comes to like just advertisements in general. Kickoff. Oh, we'll be right back. Have you ever wondered why your dog poops so strange? Well, get this dog medicine. And then, all right, we're back. Oh, and there's an injury. Hey there, I suffer from Huntington's disease. I was trying to think of a weird disease. Huntington's disease is it's very bad, but anyways. But it's you get my point. It's like play, ad, play, ad, play, ad, play, ad, play, ad. So many advertisements in football, and it is absolutely brutal. It is brutal. I think what they should do, they should have an allotted time for advertisements, just for a football game.
Or shorten it up
at least. But they should shorten it up and just have an allotted time that should not go over that time. Because I feel like what that does is that makes the game more streamlined and it makes every game fair. Because if one game has more ads than another, then it has the chance to just like seem longer and all this and all that. I just feel like almost like hockey in a way, just play ads when you have to, when you absolutely have to. Like, I wouldn't mind just hearing more commentating for a few more minutes while, there's a little downtime. Because,
speaking of more commentating during downtime, check out No Quip Sports live action, never a commercial. We always keep it going. We keep it live. We keep it fun. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Exactly. But essentially, just advertisements in this game have always been brutal, and they need to do something about it because it makes, especially in the regular season, it almost makes it unwatchable for me.
You know what's interesting about advertisements in this league? And this is actually, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I still think it's kind of fun to think about. A lot of these teams actually started from companies, and it's a little bit of how they promoted their companies. So like the Green Bay Packers, for instance, they were a packing company back in the day. So, I don't know, kind of fun, kind of neat. They started at companies. But anyhow, once again, that's a little bit of a stretch. But the league does recognize this as a problem. I'll pull this quote right here real quick. Goodell said the league will look several ways to improve on the instant replay system so that it can be sped up, shortening the time between extra points and kickoffs, and reducing the frequency of television timeouts in general. So they are looking at it. That quote actually came from Newsday. I'll put that link in the description down below so you can see the rest of that article. But yeah, no, I think they know about it. I think they are addressing it before the Super Bowl, actually, and I think that's where this article came from specifically. They were looking at, and Goodell was talking about in front of camera and stuff like that, how they need to reduce the game, how they can better improve it for the advertisers as well as the actual fans themselves. And I think there's a couple ways around it. I mean, you could create more commentating, but also have maybe some things flash up on the screen. I know that the field is green itself. It's like a green screen. You can put something down there just like they do in soccer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Speaking of soccer, I'm repping a different kind of football jersey today, and there's a couple ways. There's a couple ways to do it, and I just want to see it get fixed more than anything.
Yes.
So
just get fixed.
yeah. So if y'all want to check out the rule book as well on timing and also advertisements, you can check out the rule book. Once again, I have it in the description down below, so you can check that out. Hockey. What content do we have coming up in hockey in the very near future?
Same old stuff. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Videos will be coming up again soon, I promise. That's basically all that for that. I want to talk. We talked about it real quick. I want to touch base on how terrible the Super Bowl ads were this year.
All right,
They're garbage.
Have
They're
at it.
garbage. They weren't funny. They were. I literally cannot remember a single one. That is how bad they were.
The only one I could remember was the one where the guy came through the wall that Trump supposedly built in this advertisement, and it was for a lumber company. And it didn't make any sense at all. And it was a 2-minute ad.
Yeah, no, all the ads this season were like 2 minutes. There were no funny ones, maybe because it was all the, the geopolitical system and stuff like that. And they did have some like touching ads and stuff, but they were just too long. They were like little movies. It's like I want to stuff my face and eat chips and dip and watch funny commercials. I don't want to see this BS. It's bull crap. That's what it is.
I had so many meatballs on the Super Bowl.
Those
were
meatballs
great.
were
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
They were good. And the kielbasa, too.
Oh, I did. Actually didn't have the kielbasa.
Yeah.
Mistake. But anyways, that's all we have for this video. We'll be back soon. Obviously, as always, go hockey.
Go football.